Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from the three fates, and today's reading is very special because it is in collaboration with Luca from Source Light Star. As always, please take a moment to center yourself, take a deep breath, draw the energy up your spine to create a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with Rooted in Gratitude, also associated with Clotho. Group number 2 in the center with Extraterrestrial Downloads. Also the pile of Lechesis. And group number 3 on the right with Not an Accident, Synchronicity, and association with Atropos. As always, the timestamps for your reading are listed down below in the description box, as well as all the rest of my information, such as my Follow Your Heart Oracle deck and all the other decks and books that I have published, as well as the jewelry that I make and sell, and some of my art. As always, you can find access to subscribe to my channel, to join so that you get an exclusive pick a card reading not only every Tuesday, but also every Wednesday on my Inner Circle channel here on YouTube. And for those who want extra bonus exclusive content, I also post a full pick a card every single Thursday on my Patreon. And the link to that is also in the description box, as well as personal readings, Reiki sessions, and all of that great stuff. So, I'm so excited to give this reading to you, as this is a triple deity that is very close to my heart and very pivotal for me on my journey. So, I hope that you enjoy these messages, as well as the messages from the three faces of Hecate over on Luca's channel. If you're interested in checking out our other collaboration, you can find that on my collaborations playlist, or if you want an easy way to find the link to Luca's video, that will be below in the description box, as well as on my collaborations playlist, where you'll be able to look through all of the magic that I've made with all of the beautiful friends and family in my soul tribe. As always, thank you for being here. I love you with my whole heart, and I will see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, Group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from the deity, the fates, and specifically Clotho. You selected group number 1 with Rooted in Gratitude and the spinner of the thread of fate. The one who decides exactly when to set a ripple into play, which ripple that will be, and where it's going to go. With Rooted in Gratitude, your core ripple is very ethereal, very significant to this realm. And the fates want to let you know that the journey towards finding this, towards embodying this, has not been for nothing. You're tapping into a deeper version of connecting with, feeling, embodying, and experiencing the world within and around you. And you're cracking open a new journey that's going to allow you to feel even more gratitude and love in your life than you already do right now. And if this is difficult for some of you to fathom or believe, that is exactly why this is showing up and why it's showing up right now. Clotho would like to remind you that you are a creator being, but also that you are a force to be reckoned with. Some things might not necessarily seem evenly balanced out, but when that is the case, you are aware that there is simply further to zoom out. Your light shines very brightly after a long time of it either trying to be dimmed, or after a long time of needing to feel like you needed to hide your light because it was too bright, it was too intense, it was too brilliant. You, Group 1, were too brilliant. Except that you're not. Because there is never such thing as too much. This is a theory, this is a perspective that Clotho is wishing for you to gently incorporate into your own life. You are the one that decides what is too much, what is not enough. You are the one that decides what is fair, what is not. You are the one that decides where you put your energy, where you begin a ripple, and you are the one that decides what impact you wish to leave behind you. Whether you dream big or dream small, leave a huge impact, leave a small impact, affect your family line, affect the collective, affect the planet, or simply affect yourself. And you are allowed to do any and all of those options. Clotho would like to remind you that you are not alone, as you might notice that you feel very connected with metaphysical beings, metaphysical activities. You might notice that you're very spiritual, that you feel a deep resonance with the moon, with the stars, with astrology, astronomy, cosmology, and this is Clotho coming through to let you know that everything that we see has already been decided. Every star we see in the sky that exists for seemingly centuries, it's already exploded. It has already been decided that it will exist, it will sustain, and it will die. But we see the impact of it now, traveling light years in order to find where you are today. It placed itself and timed itself just so that you would get to experience its light, its love, its gratitude, and its beauty. Clotho would like to remind you that there are some very significant points in your life that are coming back up to the surface right now. And that if you dive into the Akashic Records, dive into all that you are grateful for in this life, you will notice the beginning ends of threads that you have tugged on in order to walk your path. Do not forget that you are the spinner of your own thread. Do not forget that you have the decisive ability to impact your own life and the realm outside of you as well as inside of you. You are strong, you are beautiful, you are powerful, you are informed, and there is nothing and no one that could possibly ever match your individual, unique vibration. You get your power from the source, and you learn exactly all that you need to know and more in order to know not only exactly what you're talking about, but to be able to explain it in a sense where even a young child would understand. And Clotho would also like to remind you that children are often much wiser than adults. You have your feet on the ground at this time, and your material realm is shifting in a way that is drawing in more prosperity, more things to be grateful for. You have, as I like to say, the attitude of gratitude. And Clotho would like for you to know, group number 1, that things are always good and getting better. Howla. But also, the attitude that you portray is more effective and growing increasingly effective than it has been in the past. It is very important that you remember who the heck you are. Not that you don't know, because you are well aware. But those that you notice who are perhaps uninformed, faulty versions, looking up to or copying you, or those who you carry to where they currently are. Clotho would like to remind you that your attitude, your intention, and your decisions are exactly what manifest. And again, whenever this seems not to be the case, zoom out, because it is. It might not be the projection of your human thinking brain that has projected this. It may not be the projection of your visceral human emotional experience that has projected this. But you are the one that has set this into play. Never forget how strong you are. Never forget what you've been through to get to where you are. And Clotho would like to remind you that challenges and difficulties that have happened in your life have been to make you stronger, to make you more educated than those around you, to make you better at what you do than those around you, to make you stand out, to make you work harder. Not because life had to be harder for you, but because you decided that this was the way that you were going to show up and live the best dang life that you can in this short amount of time. And again, this has been decided and completed outside of your time-space experience. So, allow yourself to go through the motions, allow yourself to stand in your power, and allow yourself to be rooted in gratitude, standing in your power, because what you are not seeing currently is how on point you are, how healthy you are, how powerful, how strong you are, how decisive you are, how much perfectionism there is behind what it is that you do. And also, connection, balance, how loved you are, how perfect, how balanced you really truly are, because to you, this is second nature. And so, you have completed the journey of seeking something outside of yourself that's already been present. And you are stepping into an energy of course, receiving what it is that you want and desire, because you are the one that worked for it. You are very talented at what it is that you do. And Clotho would like to remind you that you have the capacity to feel the way that you want to feel, and invite in situations that allow you to feel those things. This is also why the inverse works. You find what you want to experience and then feel how that would feel in order to attract it. You are being called to practice the opposite right now. Choose your feeling and then see what surprises there are in store for you. Group number 1, this is actually my first Oracle deck that I made, and I'm in the process of finally publishing it. But I'm going to use just the cards right now that I have written down for your reading. And we're going to see messages to group number 1, please, from Clotho. Group number 1, messages from Clotho. Inner child healing. You're telling me this goes on the right. You can look forward to experiencing things that you wished that you experienced as a child, or things that you did experience in your childhood that you didn't get to re-experience, or things that you knew were significant that you've been waiting to come back around as an adult. You have go for it. It's your book. Write a chapter. This is the large message of your reading here. Okay? It is your book. Write a chapter. You are the one that decides. You decide what you want to feel. If it's something you felt when you were a child, welcome the experiences that go along with it. That does not make it childish. It does not make it immature. It merely means that that is the last time that you experienced or were fully aware that you were experiencing that energy, that emotion. But notice that emotions are energy too. So don't make it about the emotion. Make it about the energy. Someone needed that differentiation. And you are being welcomed with an opportunity in the near future. Some of you, this is popping up in your dreams. You are already aware of what this is, what this might look like. Some of you already have a name, a date for it. And you're being encouraged you're being encouraged to say yes and to work through your moon sign at this time, or take a look at what your moon sign is and find its sister sign. Find the sign that balances it out and embody that central balanced point. Say it is Virgo, your moon's in Virgo, then embody not just Pisces, but the balance between Virgo and Pisces, that central point. Not to lean to the other side, but to find the center. And we have 808 here. Some of you are welcoming in a wonderful time in your life, and you're being encouraged to take the opportunity and trust that it's leading you towards abundance. It might not start that way. Clotho is letting you know that this is going to start with a positive experience. And when you see this positive experience, for some reason you may not associate it with abundance or prosperity or longevity, and you're being encouraged to change this perspective. Welcome in your moon sign. Take a look at where you are. Take a look at who can be involved in the process, but remember that it's your book. Regardless of the process, regardless of who is involved. If it's your book, you get to decide how the story starts, what happens in the middle, and how it ends. Don't forget that life is a play, And you are the director, you are the actor, as Dolores Cannon says, you are the actor, you are the producer, you are the director. It is your book. You are the pages, you are the words, you are the sentences, you are the author. Never forget that. Final closing out messages, please. We have a miracle awaits. This is going to be very visceral. I keep hearing the word visceral, and we have orange coming out quite a bit for your sacral chakra. And we do also have this kind of beautiful peachy color, which is drawing me to in between orange and yellow, which is where your life force energy is held, in your golden star chakra between your sacral and solar plexus chakras. Now, this is in the expanded chakra system. Okay, so if you're working through your 7 chakras, don't get confused about it being in your sacral or being in your solar plexus. This is the little sun within you, and this is the way that you viscerally experience the world. But in between the two, there is another energy center, an energy point. You might want to tap in with the lower Dantian. This will help you to understand the alchemy of the energy that is coming in and where you're going to feel, experience, and hold this energy that's coming in. But remember that all that we hold, we also release. So experience your experience. Do not hold on to it. Do not be so attached to detachment that you don't experience it. And don't be so detached from attachment that you overly experience it. Okay, but a miracle awaits. Green means go. Oh yeah, YES, and giver, it's time to receive. I think this is pretty self-explanatory for you, Group 1. Clotho wants and needs you to know that you are on the right track. You have been for a while, and whatever this is that you are assuming, presuming, or inferring that this might mean, you are already on point. Again, some of you have been given a word, a name, a place, a picture, a date even, and do not underestimate the precision of the ripple effect that you have begun and you have told yourself. Because at the end of the day, this journey is between you and the universe, you and source, you and God, you and light. Ultimately, it's between you and you. So, trust that you've given yourself the correct information. Trust that there is even more to be grateful for that's coming into your life. And trust that it's your book, you can write a chapter. Many will plagiarize, many will take inspiration, many will try to rip out a page, but all you have to do is print out another copy. Because no one can harness your you like you can. And that is a fact if there ever was one. Okay, group number 1, that is your channeled message from Clotho. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. I love you with my entire heart, and if you're interested in more readings from me, they are below in the description box, whether they're personal or on some of my exclusive channels. With that being said, please go check out Luca's reading, where he will channel messages to you from Hecate, the triple moon goddess, Maiden, Mother, and Crone. I hope that you enjoyed your message here from the fate Clotho. And if you want to stick around and see what the other fates have for you before you check out Luca's, or weave them together, pun intended, you're more than welcome to do so, of course. Thank you so very much for being here. I love you with my entire heart, soul, and being, and just, everything in there. I hope that you feel it, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, Group 2. Namaste, and welcome to your channeled message from the Fates. Your pile specifically is a channeled message from Lechesis, the weaver of the thread of fate, the one who decides how things are going to pan out. Now, you selected the second group with Extraterrestrial downloads, which is personally one of my favorite cards in my Follow Your Heart Oracle deck, because I have literally so much Aquarius in my chart, and if you know me, you know I love all things extraterrestrial, extra-dimensional. But this card wanted to come out for your reading with the Weaver of Fate. And this is immediately showing me somebody doing grid work, showing me somebody weaving their vibration, seeding vibrations, just doing so much connective bridge work. You can be a medium, you can be psychic, you can be, even if this isn't in a very metaphysical sense like this, you are someone who weaves together different bits and pieces. You might be a very innovative artist who puts together things that are unheard of. You might be an inventor. Take something really rational. You could be a quantum physicist. You can be something that allows you to decide or change the course of life. Something that questions what we've known before. There's this energy of all eyes being on you right now. Group number 2, and Lechesis wants to let you know that you are the one that gets to decide what you do with this. you are being encouraged to make yourself more available in whichever way that resonates with you, because they're showing me a situation a lesson that I've learned really in life, and they want me to share it with you actually. And this is we we can run around helping individual, and the amount of energy that we expend, the amount of effort that we put towards helping 3 people can be actually used, that same amount of energy, to help thousands, if not millions of people. And this can look however it looks for you, but I wanted to come up. Now, they say that everyone gets an allotted amount of good and bad, light and dark in their life, and that it balances out over the grand scheme of things. And some of it's internal, other parts are external. Sometimes it's compiled, other times it's scattered. But Lechesis is the one that allots everyone their fair share of everything, per soul and per incarnation. It is said that even Zeus, even God, even Source, was subjected to fate. And there is not too much information, there are not many stories that are out there about fate, other than the fact that it is beyond reasoning. It is a being that exists larger and more ancient than any ancient deity we're able to find. And it is a source, it is a reference point, it is a force, a being that exists beyond and encompassing and all embodying every single culture, every single belief system, and every single being, including those creator beings, including those source beings, are subjected to fate. And so, with the Extraterrestrial Downloads card, with Lechesis, the Allotter, this is saying that it's your move, Group 2. The way that you choose to spend your energy, this one's on you. In a positive way, you get to decide. But where are you putting your energy? What is it that you know that draws attention to you? What is it that you say? Or more importantly, what is it that you don't say? Or is what you're not saying more important than what it is that you are saying? Lechesis would like to challenge you to speak up and say some of those more trivial things that you're aware of. This is so much more than learning a fact and spitting it out. This is reminding yourself that you already know the energies you have access to. So, in a more razor-sharp, precise way, where are they going? Where are you divvying them up to? How are you spending that one particle of energy? Because you can push really, really hard against a door that says pull, or you can barely dip your finger into a still bowl of water and watch phenomenal ripples. There is some sort of bright light. Remember, even Zeus is subjected to fate. Even Ra is subjected to fate. Even Krishna is subjected to fate. And so this is to remind you that you are a lot stronger than either you're leading on or than you currently know or believe. You are aware of what you have access to, and you are aware of your origin story. For some of you, this is, oh, hello. There is, interesting, just landed outside my window. There is a sparrow that is holding in its beak a moth, and it's chirping. You can hear it. So that can be significant for some of you. It's a sparrow. Whenever I hear sparrow, I hear, I literally, the little sparrow, Edith Piaf, quand il me prend dans dans ses bras, qu'il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose. And it's eating a moth. Okay. Ooh. Yum, just swallowed. Wow. How interesting to observe nature. But notice that this is the observer perspective, seeing the flow of things. I did not put that sparrow in front of my window. I did not tell the sparrow to eat the moth. But there is no accident in the universe. It landed in front of me and it was staring at me while it did this. So that might be a sign for you. And there is another message here to remember who you are, remember what you are, remember all of the affirmation, not that you needed it, in this life that you've received. Remember how ancient, how powerful, how strong, how beautiful, how amazing you are. And for some of you, your origin story matters. Your origin story matters. At the back of the deck, we have the Chariot. Lechesis would like to let you know, group number 2, that you have an opportunity to move forward in the way that you would like. And you're being encouraged to present yourself as a big boulder, not a small pebble. We have Strength. This is the first card out for group number 1. If you feel you have messages there, you might find that you have messages from Clotho as well. You have the Four of Pentacles. We have the Wheel of Fortune coming out. Messages please from Lechesis to group number 2. You are strong enough, you are decisive enough, and you are organized enough to manifest what it is that you desire. We say the word manifest loosely. You are grounded here for a very particular reason, and you feel as though when you want to, or you feel as though you cannot, you have a hard time resting because you know what your duty is here, you know what your job is here, you know what your mission is here. Some of you, you don't stay busy to be busy, you stay busy because there's a lot you have to do here, or you don't come around these parts very often. For some of you, you're in a place of the world where you don't plan on being for a long time, so you might as well run around picking up litter, you might as well teach the local children, you might as well paint a mural on the wall of that business. For others of you, you might be a starseed, you might be an earth angel, you might be some divine being that is manifest here, that is incarnated here on earth, and you don't come around these parts that often. So you see that there's a lot of work to roll up your sleeves to be done. But you're also aware that this starts within you. You're also aware that you're not alone. You're also aware that every single being, every single collective, for example, the ones that I have channeled on my channel, are with you. Teamwork makes the dream work. And there's a reason why I always pick the ones that are needed the most and found the least. And there's a reason that was brought to me, because that is like you. Moths are everywhere, but energies that genuinely feel like La Vie en Rose are fewer and further between than mass media paints. That doesn't make it not exist. It merely makes energy be jumbled. So again, are you selecting one energy and pushing up against the door that says pull? Or are you making one move and creating a ripple effect that affects the masses? So, Lechesis would like to mention with you, group number 2, that you do have luck on your side. You are very much aware of what energies are auspicious for you, what energies are guided, what energies you have a little bit of extra help with, and you're also aware of the fact that you are very magical, that you're exactly where you decided to be, exactly where you are meant to be, and you're also aware that long gone are the days of you pouring into empty cups, of you emptying your cups to fill up others. However, you are also aware that you are only here for, I'm hearing, one season, or one reason, or one lifetime, or one moment. Either way, time is a construct. Time is an illusion. Past, present, future, it all happens simultaneously, encoded over the present moment. And if you resonate with having past, present, future parallel lifetimes, that means that your energy particles, your consciousness, the consciousness, you are just remembering the particles of you that are most resonant with what you are today. As we have access to the Akashic records, remembering everything, diving back up into source, being everything, and even that, having an allotted fate to begin to create, to sustain that creation, and to close out that creation. Clotho, Lechesis, Atropos. Brahma, creator, Vishnu, sustainer, Maheshvara, destroyer. You are encouraged right now, group number 2, to know what you have to offer and to put it on the top shelf. Because those who are too lazy to grab a ladder, those who won't jump and reach to get it, those who won't tap on someone else's shoulder and ask for help, because you are being encouraged essentially to reaffirm your specialty and limit access. Because less effort and one dip of the finger will create the ripple effect that you seek. And it's also important that you remember not to give away your goods to everything and everyone. Take that however it resonates, because I know that came out a little weird, but that was the way that it was channeled through me. So you are very much aware that if you find a wildfire and you have one bucket of water and you run directly up to the fire, it might not be the most productive thing. However, if you were to, in some way, be in the Earth's atmosphere with an infinite supply of water or some miraculous magical material that people don't even know exists, then putting out that wildfire with just a thought would be, of course, very easily possible for you. And there's a reason why that was the analogy that came out as well. You've been moving towards the version of you that you have been aware that you are this entire time. Lechesis is acknowledging the fact that you've needed to shift and grow and shape into the version of you that you've always been, because there's something about you that seems alien, something about you that seems like you stand out, something about you that belongs on the top shelf. And what happens with things on the top shelf? They are priced higher, they're less accessible, there are fewer of them, but also they get bought the least. But that is only because they're the most valuable. So put that into perspective. Messages, please, from Lechesis to group number 2. This is the first Oracle deck that I ever made. I'm in the process of publishing it, but while I'm working on that, I didn't want to just use my rough cards I did on construction paper. So you have Creator Am. I'll say so. With the flower and the North Node. North Node and flower. Some of you might have your North Node in Virgo. You have Akash with space, ether, element. Okay. Lechesis would like to remind you that you can always zoom out. And if what you are looking for is resources, money trees is the perfect place for shade. And that's just how I feel. Yeah. $1 might turn to $1 million and we all rich. That part. That. Right there. Because you are $1, but you are $1 million. And so the collective is rich that you are here. But don't put yourself on the bottom shelf, because you belong on the top shelf. So Lechesis is reminding you, group number 2, that you get to weave whatever it is that you want. Do you see what I see? Any vision that you have, if you wish to share it, it will immediately be seen. There's something here about you're a very strong sharer of visions. Whether you are, maybe you have access to Akashic Records, maybe you have access to showing other people voyancy. You might be activating other people's spiritual and psychic gifts and abilities. You could be really good at painting pictures. You could be an art, like literally on canvas or with your words. You can be an author. You can be something like this. You can be a starseed, an angel. So it just is second nature for you to be able to ground a clear vibration to the realm, because you have more access to the clearer vibration than you do the muddied up vibration and trying to climb your way up, trying to figure it out. Because the part is expressing it, and that's it. But as it grounds, it still grounds in the top shelf, still grounds in the crown chakra, grounding in the crown chakra. An animal is trying to tell you, okay, your connection with nature, do not overlook it. Your connection with animals, don't overlook that. Off-grid. Some of you have been called to literally get the heck out of Dodge lately. There's a reason for this. Lechesis wants to let you know that anything that you desire is yours. We also have Cosmic Tantric Love at the back of the deck. Make love to your life. Not just in a human, physical, visceral way. In a spiritual way. When you leave your body, and you look back, it won't be what felt good for your body. It will be what feels good to your soul. What What are you leaving behind? What are you detaching from? Is it something that you are happy to have been a part of? And is it something that you are proud to get to detach from because you feel that it is completed? An animal or the animals are trying to tell you. Now, for your reading specifically, we had a sparrow with a moth in its mouth land right in front of my window, stare directly at me, and eat the moth. That is a sign. You are capable. You are powerful. You are the weaver. And you are intentional. So, zoom out and look back. What are you intending? That is your channeled message, group number 2 from Lechesis, the fate. I hope that this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation. And I hope that you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. If you want to find more of my content, my exclusive videos, my oracle decks that I made or am making, or any of the art that I do, just personals, Reiki, all of that good stuff, you can find it below in the description box, as well as your link to Luca's reading. Please go check out his reading over there where he's channeling Hecate. We're also doing both triad readings, so he's doing the Maiden, Mother, and Crone, as I am doing the Spinner, the Allotter, and the Snipper of Fate, okay? So, if you'd like, hang out here, see if Clotho or Atropos have messages for you, and then head on over there and see if there are messages from Hecate, from any of the three. And since this is, of course, the Weaver pile with Lechesis, feel free to bounce back and forth, weave them all together. The link, again, is in my description box, and you can also find it in my collaborations playlist. So, I hope this helped. I'm sending you all of my love, and thank you again for being here. I'll see you next time, Group 2. Namaste. Hi there, Group 3. Namaste, and thank you so very much for being here today. Welcome to your channeled message from the Fates, specifically Atropos. You selected the third group with Not an Accident, Synchronicity. And the first thing that is coming up is Atropos would like for you to know, Group 3, that you are ready now. You are ready to break free from a chain. You are ready to step into a version of yourself that has always been encoded in your blueprint, and that it's time that you stand in your power. It's also time that you take a better look at yourself and you see yourself for what you are, not for the mold that has been placed upon you or the one that you needed to fit into in order to have made it this far. You are okay, and you have certain gifts and abilities that you do not practice as much as you would like that are very pivotal for you incorporating into this new version of yourself. With Not an Accident, Synchronicity, you are able to see the correct decision, you are able to see the light and shadow attributes to everything, and you're able to transcend duality in all aspects. In between recording your pile and group number 2's, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about Alistair's last theorem, where he proved mathematically that 0 equals 1, because nothing is something. And this is Atropos, who is the one who cuts the thread of fate, the string of fate. This is when something has reached its end. Atropos, first of all, decides when that's going to be, what that's going to look like, and there are certain things in your life that are infallible. There are certain aspects about you that are infallible. And there are other aspects about you that are crumbling away and you're growing out of. There may be certain energies that you thought you would carry with you forever, or you thought that you would never express, that you thought you had mastered, that you thought that it was just a part of you that you are releasing, you are standing out of, because whatever this is, you realize that there is more to express. There is greater love. There is more out there. There is something larger. There is more to you, to a situation. There is more. And as we know, with endings come beginnings. So, you are being guided to remember by Atropos that all experiences happen on top of each other, right here, right now. Your past loved ones are here right now in a different frequency. Your angels, spirits, guides, ancestors, the fates, all versions of you that you ever have been, ever will be, is right here, right now. You are realizing yourself and the ways that you can embody, yes, whichever frequency that you'd like. You can channel the portal of your heart chakra and allow it to carry you where it does or where you desire. But one of the greatest strengths is detachment, is letting go. Because, as I was speaking with my friend earlier, yes, 0 equals 1. The fool is the magician. But it takes that beginner's mindset. It takes that leap of faith. It takes diving off of a cliff into the deep, dark abyss, cutting that thread in order to stand in your power, in order to begin your journey. They're showing me my book, The Fool's Journey. Some of you might want to check that out, or maybe you've read it, and if you have it, you might be called to flip to a certain page and read the message that is on there for you. Messages, please, from Atropos to group number 3. I'm hearing the song Through the Fire and Flames, so that can be significant for some of you. You're being encouraged to trust that which is eternal, lives in the void. Allow yourself to remember that the things that are permanent are still eternal. The things that are impermanent are still eternal. And that which you create, that which exists, that which pops up to you, stands out as a sign of synchronicity, is nothing more or less than a significant memory. We have the Page of Pentacles with death and rebirth. Very much Atropos vibes coming out here with the Ace of Swords. Some of you may have done some cord cutting recently, or scissors can be significant, or literal swords, knives, things like this. They're showing me like an altar dagger. Okay, so only take that if it resonates, of course, but some of you are missing a sword on your altar, or some of you might have a significant soul memory relating to something like this. We have Page of Pentacles, Death, Ace of Swords, and the King of Cups, 8 of Cups, and Judgment. Atropos would like for you to be fearless enough to be fearful and take the leap anyway. Cut the thread so that you can begin a new one. Because where energy goes, attention grows. And when something has grown enough, releasing it sometimes can cause it to grow more. I'm being shown a plant being propagated, and this can actually multiply that same plant. But oftentimes, the actual plant that you took that one piece off of to replant it somewhere else, sometimes it will actually grow more abundant when you cut it back, similar to our hair or our nails. You're being encouraged with a releasal that you've recently experienced, mind, body, spirit. Atropos is letting you know that this is one of the most powerful experiences that you will have the pleasure of experiencing in this incarnation. And that the things that are underneath the surface are now coming to light. Allow these to show up in front of your face, and as everything exists simultaneously on top of itself, right here, right now, the signs and synchronicities are no accident. Allow yourself to be shown all that has, will, and is in occurrence. Allow yourself to step forward with the portal of your heart in the tenacity and the integrity of truth. of clarity. And Atropos would like to remind you that the one with the scissors, the one with the sword, the one with the truth, the one with the ability to die and rebirth, the infinite, is often what is most revered as well as what is most feared. This is where, oftentimes, there will be a misconception that fear leads to power, or that eternal life leads to power, when in reality, all of these things are synonymous with the one, with the infinite. This energy is calling the infinity mantra to me. Some of you may be familiar with it. A loose translation of it to English is all in the universe is infinite. Om, source, creation, is infinite, and the universe is infinite. The infinite comes from that which is infinite. Then, if you take the finite, the infinitude of the infinite universe, it still remains as infinite alone. And that is really beautiful. It's saying that anything that has a beginning or an end is still infinite. Those who have passed on still exist in, sure, an altered frequency, but on top of us, right here, right now. Time experiences itself, the universe experiences itself, everything is existent and infinitely expanding, but even that is a concept of time and space, which exists in the experiential fourth dimension of space-time, the continuum, as it is called, because it is infinite. And so Atropos would like to remind you, group number 3, that you have the ability to create, sustain, and destroy anything that you'd like. You've recently rebirthed yourself, changed your own frequency, or begun experiencing an old frequency in a new way, or have walked away from something that you felt emotionally, spiritually connected with, in order to rebirth something new that is in alignment with the truth, your truth now, or what your truth has grown into. This is just as fair as something being born is, which is also just as fair as something dying. Because everything that has a beginning has an end, and anything that seems finite is born out of the infinite. We are all consciousness. And Atropos would like to remind you that it is not only okay for things to end, for you to move on, for you to say enough is enough, for you to move on, release something. That detachment is actually, as the crown chakra implies, the portal to all else that is out there, the infinite. Detachment, cutting of that cord, removal of anything from anything else, separation, is in and of itself that which draws union together. We are the universe experiencing itself, and we are only finite so that the infinite can experience the infinite. You're being encouraged to honor what fits you emotionally. Atropos would like to remind you that sometimes it might seem that a thread is cut willy-nilly. Sometimes it might seem long overdue. Sometimes it might seem a bit preemptive. But there are no mistakes in the universe. It is not an accident. It is a synchronicity. And regardless of a subjective opinion of cord cutting, it is still, in some way, shape, or form, to the infinite mind, conscious, intentional, and omnipresent. That which leaves doesn't go anywhere. All is made from the same base material, and those materials come from the infinite. Atropos would like to remind you that fear of a new beginning is natural because it comes along with the idea of detachment. As was mentioned in group number 2, do not get so attached to detachment that you lose your experience. You lose control over the threads that you cut, and when, and where, and why. But also, do not become so attached that you cannot cut any thread at any time. There is that point in the middle that segues to the infinite. The fact that your body is manifest, is existent, holding, containing the infinite, and what seems to be sometimes just a particle, just a drop, just a bit. So unique, so individual. Your individuality is intentional and could not exist without both attachment and detachment, for this is the duality, the principle of yin and yang. You are able to identify right now, group number 3, that it is time that you are on to something bigger, better, on to the next. You're either feeling this, you are aware of this, you know, you're speaking on this, you hear this from the universe, but either way, it's not an accident, it's a synchronicity. You know what you're doing. You're making the right decisions, and nothing at all, anywhere, is not on the perfect timing. You do not feel attached to anything you shouldn't be attached to. And you are not currently detached to anything you shouldn't be detached from. Allow yourself to be decisive, coming from your inner knowing, which you can only have through attachment. And allow yourself to be so in tune with that you are able to make the correct decision, that you are able to jump off that cliff, because you are also so in tune with detachment. That which is infinite comes from the infinite. That which is finite comes from the infinite. Anytime you want more, you feel there is bigger or better out there for you, cut the thread and trust that it exists. Because when you are in a finite experience, what you crave is the infinite. And it already exists within and around you. Everything that you seek is merely a frequency away. And you, group 3, are a master of frequency. So allow yourself to listen to the song of the frequency you desire. And allow yourself to feel the illusion of attachment without succumbing to the illusion of the realm before you. You know who you are. You know what you came here to do. And you're very much aware when it's time to cut the thread, when it's time to jump off the cliff. Because nothing is something. Finite is infinite. Detachment is attachment. And so on and so forth. Never forget that we live in a psyop. We live in a realm that honors duality. And as long as you are here, as long as you are selecting to experience it, trust that there are no accidents and that synchronicities are so much more than that. Okay, I'm going to be channeling messages to you from Atropos using the first oracle deck that I ever made. I am in the process of actually publishing it, but I wanted to use the construction paper ones today. We have determined. They're showing me Ate, summer. They're showing me deter, the being. They're also showing me to don't deter yourself from your mind. You are not your body. You are also not your mind. But it is not an accident or synchronicity what occurs within those things. The body talks. Meditation helps. We have heart blind. It's too deep. Allow yourself to take that leap of faith. Take the plunge. There is deeper. There is deeper. We have inner child healing. This came out in group number 1. Okay. Detach yourself to your inner child enough to allow yourself to embody it. Attach yourself to your inner child enough for you to be detached from it. That is one of the healthiest things you can do for your heart in this body. Remember that your ancestral karma lies between your diaphragm and your chin on the front part of your body in your aura, in the first 3 layers of your aura. Some of you are into energy combing, or this gave you a little rabbit hole to dive down. Gratitude. Gratitude is the attitude, period. If you ain't talking blank, I don't want to talk. Atropos would like to remind you, if you're not talking attachment, then don't pretend to detach. If you aren't talking detachment, don't pretend to attach. And so on and so forth. What's in is out. What's out is in. Showing me a gyroscope. Atropos would like to remind you that you are a highly sensitive person, but that you are only magnetic when you decide to be, and allowing yourself to be conscious of this process will allow you to select your path and what you experience. So don't be afraid to jump off the cliff. Continue to stay optimistic and follow what it is that you feel drawn towards, because sometimes what we perceive as attachment is the infinite expressing itself to us through our own visceral memory. Linguist. Use your words, use your mind. We have sound healing, sound vibration, sonar, coming out quite a bit. Creator am. You are the one that gets to select your life. Detaching and letting it all up to source is just as attached as it is for you to take it in your hands and try to control everything. Do not overly surrender. Do not overly control. Find that road in the middle where you allow yourself to say that you equally surrender and you equally make the decision. Be determined enough to surrender. Be surrendered enough to make determined observations and decisions. Atropos would like to remind you that when you cut a thread, there is no going back, because it allows you to then start something new. So do not be so afraid to pick up the scissors, to pick up that sword, to speak that truth, to move from your heart, because anything that you are pretending to release, any thread that you are cutting, is merely a formality anyway, because the finite exists within the infinite, and all things happen on top of each other. It is merely whether or not you are able to perceive it. That is the question. Which is why, in order to perceive, you must attach. But in order to see clearly, you must also detach. If you feel drawn more towards one or the other, it will tell you what to work on. Right in the center is your heart, the portal to all frequencies. Love and gratitude, which did come out in the center of your being. Don't see death as something negative or something to be feared. Don't see Atropos as someone who takes, but as someone who gives. And don't become so attached to detachment that you forget the glory of where you are in the first place anyway. Otherwise, you would not have chosen to incarnate and have an experience in the first place. So don't forget how precious it is, and be aware of what's coming to the surface right now. It is filled with integrity, filled with intention, and there is not a single mistake to be found. Okay, group number 3, that is all I have for you today. That is your channeled message from Atropos, the fate. I hope this helps shed love, light, and clarity on your situation, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful realm. If you would like a personal reading from me or a Reiki energy healing session, you can find that on my Etsy in my description box, as well as the books that I've written, the oracle decks and tarot decks that I've created, along with my art, my crystal jewelry that I make, and all the rest of my goodies you can find down there. If you would like to listen to Luca's part of the reading, I highly recommend you hop over onto his channel at Source Light Star. The link to his reading from Hecate will be down below. If you feel called to listen to the messages from the Maiden, Mother, or Crone from Hecate, you can find that over there. If you feel called to listen to other messages from Clotho or Lechesis, the other 2 bodies of the Fate being, you can find that on this video. So feel free to skip around, feel free to enjoy yourself, kick back, relax, and enjoy this little experience that we've put together for you, from our hearts, from our souls, from our magic. Thank you again so very much for being here. I love you with my entire heart and soul, and I will see you next time. Namaste.